Hey guys, it's Cosmochlo here, and today I'm doing 50 facts about me because I feel like you don't really know me and I really struggle to think of 50 facts, so I wrote all my facts down. I struggled to get 50. I'm such a boring person. Let's start with fact number 1, which is I was born and raised in London, and then I moved to the outskirts of London, but I've always lived in England, and yeah, I was born in London. Roller coasters and adrenaline is such a big deal to me. I love adrenaline. I love doing things that make me go ah, and I absolutely love a good roller coaster. Theme parks are like so good. I'd go to a theme park like once a week if I could because I love roller coasters. I actually did a skydive in August in Las Vegas and it was the best experience of my life. I think now that I've done it I wouldn't do it again because I felt really sick, but it was honestly such a good thing that I did. I haven't been driving a year and I've already crashed my car, and I own a Citroen C2 before I had a Clio, and I crashed my Clio and now I have a Citroen and I haven't even been driving a year. I have a little Bubba dog called Albert and he's 1 year old and he is like my life. It's so weird how a dog can come into your life and change it and change how you feel about things and the way you look at things, but I absolutely adore Albert. I have a fear of daddy long legs. It used to be a phobia. Now I can deal with them a lot better than I did when I was a child, so now it's just a fear. But when I was younger it was a huge phobia. I couldn't look at daddy long legs. I was scared of them, and even now when they're there I get a bit like oh, but it's not as bad as it was when I was a child. I also have a fear of being sick, which is why I said I wouldn't do my skydive again. So I'm totally fine, like all good. If I ever start to feel sick and I know it's going to happen, I'll cry my eyes out and I'll try hold it back, and then it ends up coming out my nose. It's proper grim. Before I was born, my mum wanted to call me Alice after her nan, which would be my great nan, but instead they called me Chloe, and I don't know why. I love Disney. When I went to Disney World Florida it really changed my life and it made me so happy. It definitely was something that opened my eyes up, and it sounds really stupid because it's Disney and it's a theme park, but my eyes opened up so much when I went to Disney and it was a dream come true because I just love Disney films. I don't believe in aliens. I thought I'd just put that out there. I don't know why, but I don't believe in aliens. Like I don't believe in like these green aliens that everyone thinks about. Like I believe there's something else out there, but not like the green little aliens that walk around like nothing like that. I love ice cream. My favourite Ben & Jerry's ice cream used to be chocolate fudge brownie, but I have a feeling that cookie dough might have overtaken it, and that makes me sad because I absolutely love the chocolate fudge brownie one and I was adamant that cookie dough would never overtake it, but I love cookie dough. Half baked was the best thing they ever brought out because it's the best of both worlds. I cannot swim underwater. I can just about swim on the water, so underwater, nah. I love to travel. I love going on planes, I love going to airports, I love touching down in another place and being like oh my god I'm here, and getting involved in their culture and seeing new things. If I could I would dye my hair every day because I get so bored of my hair colour, and some days I wake up and I'm like this is going to be a good hair day, I'm feeling it, and other days I wake up and I'm like oh I hate my hair. So if I could I would dye my hair every day. I am very talkative. I don't know how to shut up and I talk and I talk and I talk, and it can actually be one of my biggest faults. It does help me out a lot in like interviews, or if I'm meeting someone for the first time I kind of just talk, but it does have a lot of cons as well. Like I need to sometimes learn how to shut up, but I just keep going. I love having photos at hand, so I love taking photos, I love my camera. Growing up I was always the girl who brought the camera out just to go to McDonald's and take photos, and I got them all printed because I love having them in photo albums and I love making scrapbooks. Like I love the whole idea of that. When it comes to my favourite colour, I don't actually have a favourite colour. So I used to say that my favourite colour was yellow or orange simply because I said it was a happy colour and no one ever likes that colour. That was like my weird side coming out, but I didn't own anything orange or yellow and I would never wear anything orange or yellow, but that was my favourite colour I would say. But I'm gonna go with I don't have a favourite colour. I'm kind of like, oh, if that top looks amazing in that colour, cool, I'll get it. If this looks amazing in that colour, I'll get it. I have a lot of white things and I love white furniture, but I wouldn't say white's my favourite colour. I was unable to tell the time till I was like 12. I would look at a clock and be like, it was awful. And I can tell the time now, but even then when people are like, what's the time? I like freak out, so I don't wear watches. I love a good tan. I absolutely love fake tanning and I love being in the sun, and I really struggle to tan. My body doesn't take well to the sun, like it will just burn or do nothing. So I love a good tan and I love fake tanning, even though it takes a lot of time and effort for me. My two favourite types of animals are dogs and elephants. Dogs because I just can't get enough of them because they're your pet, and elephants because they actually have such an interesting way of living and the way they communicate and the way they're just the whole way of living. Like if you want to know more about elephants, like Google it or watch YouTube videos, but they're such interesting animals, like they're insane. The first time I went to America was last year, and I went to 3 states. I went to California, Nevada and Florida. No, Florida's, yeah. Which leads me on to this fact, which is that I did Camp America last year. I was a Camp America applicant, I was successful, and I went to a summer camp in Los Angeles, and it was the best experience of my life, and the travel I did after was insane, and I regret not going back this year, but I feel like I have to not go back this year in order to progress with what I want to do in life, if that makes any sense. Singing and dancing is something I am not great at, but I'm great at constantly doing it. I can't sing and I can't dance, but if you ever drive past me, if you ever like walk past my house, you'll hear me blaring my lungs out. And also you might see some moves. Yeah, not any good moves though. I also love to act. I was a drama student. I'm really into the whole idea of drama and acting. The first time I went on a stage and performed, I actually froze up and was like, and the words just weren't coming out, and it was so embarrassing, and I ran off stage after like my performance and just started crying. It was awful. I have a little obsession with keeping up with the Kardashians. I never used to. It was when I went to LA. My life changed and I came home and I was like, the only way I can be connected with LA is if I watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and yeah, I'm a little bit obsessed. When I was a baby, I was actually kind of ginger, so my hair would grow very fair, and it was only when I was about 4, maybe 5, that it started to darken, and then I had like mousy brown hair, and then I just dyed it. I have watched every episode of Friends, and I'm pretty sure so many of you out there have as well, but I've watched every episode of Friends like 1,000 times. I love it, it's so good. My mum absolutely hates it whenever it's on telly. She's like, turn it off, and I'm like, no, it's amazing. I've watched every episode. I am a lot to handle. I love attention and I love constant interaction with people, so I can be quite high maintenance in that sense. It can be quite a pain. I love to marathon things, so I've marathoned Lost, Desperate Housewives, The Vampire Diaries, Pretty Little Liars, there's some other few that I can't remember at the top of my head, but I love to just start watching a program and then I finish it in like 2 weeks, and this is a program that's been on telly for like 6 years and I finish it in 2 weeks. That's not right. Out of chocolate, cake and crisps, cake is my weakness. I can live without crisps, I can live without chocolate, but cake is my weakness. I love cake. One of my proudest moments was getting a C in my maths at GCSE, because growing up I had learning difficulties and I really struggled with certain things, and when it came to my GCSEs they put me on a foundation paper and a higher paper. So the higher paper was harder, the foundation paper wasn't as hard, and they said, look, just go for both papers, and I got a C in both papers. So I got a C in foundation and a C in higher, and I was told that I would never get that basically, and I did, and it was the proudest moment of my life. I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, so I'm only going to give you half this fact, and that is that the place that I work for, the company that I work for, is a film company. but I don't do anything to do with film, if that makes sense. I absolutely love a good quote. If you give me a quote, then I'm like, oh, that's amazing. These are all quotes. I love a good quote. I'm always like, inspiration. Yeah, love a good quote. I'm 5'6" or 5'7". I can't remember. Oh, I didn't even give you a fact then, did I? I have a burnt hand, and by that I mean that when I was 18 months old, I picked up an iron with my right hand and went, ah! And obviously when you're 18 months old, your hand's only like this big. So my whole hand blistered up and it was horrible. And as my hand's grown, sometimes the skin can't stretch. I don't really think you can see it, but if like I move my thumb forward on this hand, it looks normal. But if I move my thumb forward on this hand, like the skin pulls from the wrong direction and I can't actually straighten this finger. I'll do a close-up. The only piercings I have are my ears. I don't have any tattoos. I don't really want a tattoo, and that's not because I don't like them, it's just because I can't think of anything that I want on my body permanently. I've never smoked a cigarette. I'm quite proud to say that. Not judging you if you have, but I never have, so I'm quite proud. When I was in Vegas last year, I got caught drinking in Chippendales and the person nearly kicked me out, this close to kicking me out. And I think my English charm might have won them over, but they took away my drink and it cost me like $16. A couple of years ago when I was walking to my boyfriend's house, I actually got robbed. So, well, I say robbed, they tried to, and they got away with nothing. They were like, grab a bag, and I was like, you grab my bag and I swear to God I will hit you with it. And they grabbed it and I literally like, swung my bag around and then I ran. So technically I didn't get robbed, but I nearly got robbed. See, you gotta be brave. I hate wearing bracelets. The only thing that annoys me in the jewellery world is bracelets. I have this on my arm, which is a story I'll tell in another video, but actual bangles and bracelets I cannot stand. Barbecue ribs are one of my favourite dishes in the world. Only one. Like, I have maybe like 4 or 5 favourite dishes, and barbecue ribs is one of them. It's which leads me on to say that I'm a really sloppy eater, and my friends warn people when they go out for meals with me because I'm so sloppy and I'm so disgusting with my habits, but I have got better in time. When I was younger, my favourite games were Animal Crossing and Lara Croft Tomb Raider. I love those 2 games. I was obsessed. Oh, and Sims. Oh, I loved Sims. When I was 14 and 15, I was slightly obsessed with the Union Jack, so I had Union Jack pillows. My friends painted me pictures of them. I had massive flags. I'd put stuff on the wall to do with Union Jack. I would have stuff everywhere to do with Union Jack. Like, I was obsessed, and now I can't stand it. My favourite shoes are my Timberlands, my black Timberlands. They're so good. I really want to upload an Instagram picture of them, but I just never get around to it. I can never find the perfect lighting. I should really do that. Check out my Instagram soon. I'm so weird. Like, if you was to spend like a whole day with me, you'd be like, Chloe, why are you so weird? Like, I'll literally just walk up to someone and be like, pigeon. And they're like, what the hell? And I'm like, pigeon. I'm just so weird. Like, honestly, this brain doesn't make any sense. I love a good soppy film. My favourite genre of film used to be horror. Like, I was obsessed with horror films when I was like 14, 15, 16. And then I just, not that I'm scared anymore, like I'm still not scared, but like I just don't often watch them anymore. But I love a good soppy film. Always down for a soppy film. When I was younger, my Disney princess idol was Cinderella. And now I'm older, it's not. But it used to be Cinderella. And last but not least, I used to have confidence issues, and I still do, but I've really like grown and developed with them. I used to get bullied for like my wonky teeth and my weirdness, and you know what, I've just embraced it and kind of been like, yeah, okay. So I'm really happy with who I am and myself, and that's pretty much everything. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I've really struggled to find 50 facts about me, but I got there in the end. So that is pretty much everything I have to say, and I'll see you in my next video. I hope you like my background as well. I might not stay here. I might move back to the bed, but you know, thought I'd jazz it up. Anyway, see you in my next video. Bye!